Good afternoon. It is a Friday afternoon. I am getting started a little late. Some technical issues. I know the old man's learning new tricks and getting burned every once in a while, but that's cool. That's cool. If you saw my last, I put it out a little while ago, and the sound was off from the video, and I'm like, I can't do that to you. I was gonna make you guys suffer and just bear with it, but I'm like, why would you want to do that? So I'm gonna do it again. Hope you're having an awesome day. Fridays in my book are Thursdays are close, but Fridays are freaking awesome. Just because there's the promise, especially when you're 19, 18, 17, 25, 32. The promise of the weekend. When you're older, it's like, yeah, I'm going to go to the soccer game and watch the kids. When you're my age, you go, maybe I'll get a run in, drink some beer tonight, Friday night. All right, so what are we looking at? We're looking at air quality, which is pretty good. Fog along the coast, not a thing. We have the jet stream, which is further to the north. I'm just drawing it, making it straight, but you see the trajectory, right? So that's the division between the warm air and the cooler air. And it's gone up. When it comes down, now all of a sudden that cooler air is closer to us and the warm air is closer to us. Oversimplification, but it's the deal. It does bear out. Some subtropical moisture will play later on into the week as some forecast moisture moves up the west slope of this or the east slope of the Sierra Nevada. We'll watch that. And then you've got this heat area out in the Carolinas. It's going to persist through the Bay Area weekend. We're going to talk about what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about warmer day today, warmer tomorrow, and then just a hover. You'll see in the GFS model, you'll see you'll see this. You'll see this line go from a warm day today, warmer day tomorrow, so jet stream's a little further north, and then it'll start to come down a little closer to us, and it will cool. That's on, say, Monday, Tuesday. And then it cools a little more, and then later on in the week we get even a little lower, it cools a little more, then it goes back. Jet stream going up and down. Cooler air here, warmer air here. Earth spins, you get Coros Effect, and that's the jet stream. That's it. It's that simple. It's really complex, but it's also very simple. Okay, so let's take a look. I'm going to do this every day in the summer because I was looking at all our weather tools. This is our weather tool belt, if you will. And in terms of weather tool belt, number one tool, visible satellite image. We'll get to that. It is number one tool. You can tell everything you need to know. But in terms of California in the summer, what you want to know is this: are there any fires? Is there going to be air quality issues? Is there going to be fire issues, road closures, things like that? And in this case, we have one fire burning that looks pretty active. 53 acres, 60% contained. That's pretty good. So they're crushing. And you can see it's got it's called the red fire, and it's got some gray around it, which means generally that they are crushing it. Although that was the different fire. The saddle fire is where we wanted to go. That's a bigger fire, I believe. Oh, there's Franny. 115 acres, just 10% contained. But I will tell you this, we're dealing with an atmospheric that is not super high fire danger, so I'm not freaking out about it. Now, if you had 110-degree temperatures, big winds, then you got yourself something. But again, this map or this website, watchduty.org, live it, love it, know it. And I think I told you yesterday, I had some smoke in my area, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And I was, can you get worried? You go, is it a big fire? What's going on? And immediately was able to see that it was a controlled burn in the area. So this is Purple Air. Purple Air works for me because first thing it does is picks up the poor air quality out on the East Coast. So you can see where the air is good, also where the fires may and may not be, but you also see the bad air. Now this isn't necessarily fires or smoke. This is probably from that heat dome, the high pressure that is over the top of them, the ridge. The air sinking, and that air creates an inversion. So this is going to continue in the Carolinas for the next couple of days. Still hot, still heat advisories, still heat warnings. And then down towards Southern California, you got some smoke. Now I haven't quite figured this one out. I didn't see a lot of smoke on the satellite. We'll look together in a minute. But this is that could just be industrial. It's Friday commute. Could just be junk coming up under that inversion, because the inversion is really shallow in Los Angeles as well. It's not that deep, so it's doing the same thing it does around here when we get our spare the air days. So we'll keep an eye on watchduty.org and Purple Air, just because I do have a suspicion. I know this is just anecdotal, but I do feel like there's a huge correlation between how our health is and what the air quality is like. And they'll tell you, oh yeah, there's a little, I think it's more than they're telling us. I think it's more than they know. I think air quality is everything. I really do. I believe that a lot. And so what you can, I'm not going to pin any diseases to it, but air quality is a thing. And if you're breathing some junk, it's not good. So air quality is important. It's also because I'm getting old. Old as dirt. And it's like, yeah, I can't handle bad air. Okay, you got bad air here, and this is the forecast for today and a little bit into tomorrow, heat advisory or heat advisory, heat warning here up in Michigan. Heat advisory here, red flag warning here, extreme heat warning down in Arizona, and then some rain and some severe storm stuff probably down in Texas. Here's the heat again, different set of metrics, not just using the temperature, but looking at humidity and other aspects of heat that can be damaging to you. And that includes air quality. And so here we are on Friday, and you see where the purple, when you see purple and red, run, right? And those are big cities circled in purple and red. And the orange is a heat advisory. So that's not good either, but, or essentially a heat advisory. So we'll go to the next day. Let's see if I can push through. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, nice. There's Saturday. You see it hangs out in the Carolinas. Purple's gone, though, but still heat. You can see where the heat is. And then Sunday. And then Monday. And we start to get hot out in the west on Monday. And then Tuesday it cools down as yet another trough comes in. This is that shallow inversion we talked about. LA's got the same thing. It's not quite as shallow as ours. Ours is down around 1,000 feet. I checked it a little while ago. This is Mount Tamalpais looking towards Ocean Beach in San Francisco. Just talked to a friend of mine who just got out of the water and says that south swell, oh, I love this. Little south swell showing up in parts of Bay Area. So there's some surf out there. Winds have been really nasty though, so the water temperature's cold, and the water temperature's cold, and it's kind of chunky and blown out. It's not the time of year to surf unless you're learning. I always think you should, if you're a learner, just go out to Ocean Beach on a small day, sit on the inside, have fun. And then you're out of the way, you're not bugging people. Here is the inversion that represented by the profiler. Last night it was about 1,200, got down to about 900, and came back up a little bit to about 1,000, but you see a little bit of mixing here, right? That's why we're seeing clearing. So some warmer air getting in underneath, and that creates some vertical shear, and you get a mixing out of the marine layer. And I think that's what we're seeing right now in parts of San Francisco, along the coast. You can see where the fog is. Cape Mendocino, Point Arena, Point Reyes, Marin County, we were just there. Santa Cruz, fog's clearing on the west side of town. Fog cleared in San Jose or San Diego, you guys, and Southern California. You guys had a June. It was kind of Juney. It was kind of Juney gloomy. I know. I was paying attention this year because I didn't pay as much attention to LA as I should have back in the day because I'm a Bay Area. I was a Bay Area meteorologist. I did. I knew what was going on, but I didn't really register. I was like, oh, whatever. We're doing. I got my 9 Bay Area counties. But this year, because of this, I'm paying much more attention to Southern California, air quality and such, and the eddies that develop off the coast. And you can see the eddies actually, in this point, is actually pulling the fog away from the coast. So a really nice day. This is the most valuable player in your toolbox, without a doubt. Use it, love it, live it. Get up in the morning, you pull this bad boy out. Where's it raining? It's not a radar, but you can see where it's raining. Where's it cloudy? You can see the clouds. Where's it hot? You can see it's June and the Central Valley is clear, so it's hot there. And the marine layer is stuck at the coast. Where's the fog? Well, there's the fog. There's not the fog. It's not a big push of fog. I think tonight at San Francisco Ocean Beach, the fog will come in tonight. But I think up around Stetson Beach, fog doesn't show up until probably right around sunset. So a really great map. And again, did I do anything you don't know how to do? No. I just looked at it. Well, look, it's clear. Oh, it's cloudy. Come on. It isn't that simple, but it's that simple. This is the GFS. Vorticity represents the jet stream, which we just talked about, which divides. This is a big concept, by the way. Cooler air to the north, warmer air to the south. Earth spins, Coros Effect, and the jet stream in the northern hemisphere goes from west to east. Southern hemisphere goes the other way, opposite. So wherever the jet stream is, which is here, see how it's bulging up over that heat, right? So it's warmer air under here, a little cooler in the Pacific Northwest because they're under a little bit of a trough. I know. I explained it over and over only because once you dial that in, you're a hero. I talked to somebody today, a couple of people I've talked to, and they said, "Yeah, I'm kind of a hero in my world because you guys take the time to learn this stuff." And I think I said it yesterday too, but apps are cool. I love them. They're awesome. It's fun to see, but they suck for weather. Really, I mean, they'll give you the long range forecast, but because what happens is grid size on models is only so big. Couple square miles. I can't remember all the different various grid sizes on the different models, but it's big. It's over a mile, right? It's big, and it's the difference between San Francisco downtown and San Francisco Golden Gate Park, which is less than a mile, is a big difference between Crissy Field and the ramp over on the other side by the ballpark. Very different. So when you live somewhere and you understand this stuff to some degree, even just the visible satellite, you live somewhere, you go, I've seen this before, because you start recognizing patterns. And that's my whole gig in life has been, I mean, I'm a meteorologist and everything, but it's pattern recognition. I've just seen it. I've seen these for 38 years. I've been looking at these patterns. They've changed a little bit. And this climate thing has been a little bit odd. But overall, it's still rolling the same way. Okay, so here goes the Jetstream. It just keeps going. This thing right here, that little low kicks in. What is that all about? That's going to cool us off or warm us up. It might warm us up a little bit, but could create some thunder shower activity. Models are keeping it dry, but we'll keep our eye out. That is more towards Sunday night and Monday. And then you see another trough drop in. So the main takeaway from this, from the GFS, is it stays unsettled. Unsettled being those troughs. The jet stream stays closer to us. Okay. Coros Effect. Look it up. It's awesome. Throws, what else? I mean, Coros Effect affects, like if you when you shoot rockets off, right? The Earth's spinning underneath it. Coros Effect's awesome. Changes lots, has a lot of impact on a lot of things, on everything in the atmosphere. Yeah, it does, or on the ground. Coriolis force. I used to actually know the mathematical equation for it too. Okay, so here is the precipitable moisture. And what I'm looking at is looking for blues and dark greens. The browns are dry. So it's dry, 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 dry. Sierra Nevada's dry, 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 dry. Kind of green, but nothing really. Dry, dry. There's a little plug there. That's that Monday thing we were talking about. Sunday night into Monday. Maybe something up by Cape Mendocino. You can see that. But it stays dry. See the stuff coming in here pulls dry. Now, if it could tap into this, that stuff's potent. That's your monsoonal moisture. It doesn't really tap in until here. So somewhere around July 8th, it starts to pull. And that's Bishop and parts of Southland, Arizona. So the North American monsoon looks like it gets underway around July 5th or 6th as it moves into Arizona. See it? Now, that's just a copious amount of moisture creating unstable conditions, creating thunderstorms and heavy rain, and can cause fires, lightning. These are the highs today. Very pleasant. God, if there was ever a California day on June 27th, there it is. Yeah. God, what a day today, man. Just got it all done. I did it like twice, and I got some editing issues. But it's cool, because I'm like, whatever, what am I doing? Here is the heat really showing up tomorrow. Tomorrow's a very warm day, a little warmer than today, buck 6 in Redding. And the thing to note is the heat here down towards Bakersfield, she's south of Stockton and north of Marysville. And the reason you don't see that big heat here is you've got a sea level gap at the Golden Gate Bridge that brings a delta breeze, is what they call it, all the way up. It even gets all the way up into the foothills. So that area, that's why Sacramento is actually bearable. I grew up kind of in Chico Paradise, actually in Paradise, it was higher, so it was cooler. But Chico, man, it bakes. Redding, it bakes. And there's no such thing. They would die for a delta breeze. They're not getting that at all. This is time to relax. This is are they moon jellyfish? Monterey Bay live moon jellyfish camera. And at first I was a little reticent to use this because they didn't come in, but when you see one, they're beautiful. Let's take a deep breath. We did all the weather. Weekend looks good. No, if you're mountain travel or backpacking or camping, you're solid this weekend in the mountains. It doesn't that monsoonal moisture, which usually starts showing up about now, not really showing up yet. So that's good. Surf is up a little bit, but just kind of hovers 2 to 3 to 4 foot. Marine inversion, which is shallow today, the fog we looked at. It'll be shallow again tomorrow, so warmer or warm again, and then it opens up a little bit as we go into the Sunday and Monday, and then it closes up. So it's just doing this, and that's exactly what it's been doing. So there's not a big variation in our forecast as we move forward. Puffins, they fly by every once in a while. I'm not going to force it. If I catch them there, it's awesome. Oh, I'll be damned. Look at you, buddy. Cue the puffin. They're awesome. I had a guy chime in with me yesterday saying, yeah, because hummingbirds are, I shouldn't say dicks because they're not people, but they're really aggressive. Hummingbirds really aggressive. And I was just saying, wouldn't it be funny if the puffins were really aggressive? Because otters are pretty brutal. If you look into it, I'm not going to get into it with you, but they're pretty the way they roll, and they're cute as hell though. But they're hard on other species, on their own species. Okay, puffin. We get them in Point Reyes. We get them at you'll see them down around. I guess I haven't seen them at 4 Mile yet, but I have heard tell, and somebody chimed in the other day and said they saw some too. Bears up at Brooks Falls, brown bears. And this site's awesome. This is not live. This was a little earlier because I found bears. Because there's not always bears there, but they're just starting to see the salmon run. This is, if you're a fisherman, you look at this and you go, surfing. Oh. He almost got sucked over. Oh, no. Babies are funny, man. That's a hard place to stand. Oh, man, look at this. Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. Where is he? Oh, my God. Oh, dude. No. Oh, man. Oh, my God. There's Mom going, what were you doing? What was that all about, dude? Oh, my God. That was... I mean, I'm not laughing. She's fine, but she was down a while. You go over the falls like that? Oh, my God. Another bear shot. Yeah. That was priceless, actually. This is kind of priceless, too. I must be looking at it's a highlight reel. Got it. Brown bear baby. God, they're cute. Brown bears. Well, we talked about grizzly bears the other day. I said they're kind of dicks, too, right? I mean, they're beautiful. And they're majestic. Like, this is cute-looking, fun-loving. Looks like Yogi or something. But, man, you never know what a bear's going to do. This highlight reel's sick. It's not live for sure. So we did the weather. So now we're just cruising. I hope you have a good night. I'm going to have, I made a new beer out of Mount Tam water. Oh, highlight reel. This is sick. I take the water from one of the springs on Mount Tam and then I brew with it. And it makes such a difference. I use the same recipe that I do when I use regular water, tap water, whatever, river water. But it comes out. It's awesome. Like, Coors always said, it's the water. It's the water. Because it's awesome beer. It's awesome. Baby Cubs. Okay, so that was a highlight reel. That was awesome, though. Okay, here we are, Mount Shasta, one of my favorite places in the world. I don't think I could live up here. Of course I could live up there. But I don't know. It gets cold in the winter. I'm as I get a little more ancient, I get a little more sensitive to the cold, but it's beautiful. You guys are lucky to be up there. I have a lot of friends live up there in that area or in the McLeod area or Weed. So Mount Shasta, losing some snow pretty quickly. Here we are in San Diego. Sun came out. Smoke. I saw smoke this morning, but I'm not seeing it now. And then Halama. Oh, no, this is the 8th station index. I didn't take it out from yesterday. So this is the 8th station index. This is a report card. So when I taught this, you should kind of know about the 8th station and the 6th station index. 8th station index, Northern California, takes into account how much snow's up there and will run off, right, and get into the watersheds, more specifically Oroville and Shasta. And it takes into account the rainfall, whatever rainfall is falling, has fallen, or is continuing to trickle out. So this is an awesome report card because A+, 105% of average for that station. So here's average is this blue line right here. That's where you should be. This is where we are this year. This is where we were last year. This is where we were when I was a senior at Cal. That was a big year. I remember that. That El Nino was nutty. And I remember this year too. I felt like this year was nuttier because there was more. That year, 82, I felt like we had more damage because we had those Pacifica mudslides. I think that was back when the Alpine avalanche as well. This is a 6-station index. And same idea, right? We're looking at southern, but again, this area, not as important. It's 82% of average, but not as important because it's not, you don't have your large surface reservoirs there. This is, I'll play it just because we're here. This is Halama. If you get a chance, run up there, especially in the fall. It's awesome. People taking a picture down there if you can see them. Halama is funny because it's a great surf spot, but it's a morning surf spot and an evening surf spot. It's not, afternoons are almost always windy. Here is San Francisco's Ocean Beach today, right now. A lot of tide, a lot of water movement. I was going to say it's not a bad time to be crab fishing, because you can crab fish with a net and a little basket full of squid, but because the tide's moving pretty good. You want kind of a higher tide or a lower tide. Ocean Beach stays about the same size, and then this is Pacifica. Fun day, fun place to go. You should definitely, if you're learning to surf, this is where you go, because you really can't screw it up unless it's big. But the rips are not really a thing. The waves are pretty soft. See how they're not breaking top to bottom? They're just crumbling and pushing. So yeah, that's where I learned how to surf. Caught my very first wave right here. And right here, I remember, I'll never forget it. Right? You just don't forget your first. I mean, I caught waves on my belly, but I mean, got up like in 1979, something like that. And then one time I was thinking about the other day when I was out here, I'd go out here, there'd be 3 guys. I mean, this whole beach would have 3 guys, right? And 3 guys paddled up to me and go, get out of here. I'm like, what? And I go, get out of here. I'm like, what'd I do? And they go, we don't like you. I'm like, got it, I'm gone. I was like a 19-year-old kid, and they were like kind of grown men and stuff. But it's like, wow, it was kind of awesome in a way. And I'm sure they laugh about it now too. But that's how it used to be. It was kind of like in New York, if you ever saw like that movie, The Warriors, where the different gangs had different parts, different turf. Well, surfers have turf. They still do. I mean, that's when we talk about the rules, but man, the turf is a big deal. It's a big deal, man, especially when you start going north of the Golden Gate Bridge. Because those guys up there, man, oh my God, you know who you are. It's like, and it's a beautiful thing. It's meant as it could be perceived as dickish, but it's really a way to sustain what is super fun for all of us. Rules are rules. The jellyfish are awesome. The weekend is awesome. Thanks for tuning in. I don't really have much to say. Could tell a friend if you can. Try to grow it. Yeah, I realized, that's so beautiful. Why am I trying to grow it? Because it's ego. I just have ego. I don't know. I wish I could get rid of it, but I think it's not bad to have when you're an old man. You know what I mean? Look at that. That's so awesome. Tell me what you like about today. If I'm doing too much jellyfish stuff, let me know. I think we're getting to the weather quicker, which I think is important. And the surf, I'm not hammering right now because the surf's kind of San Diego, you guys are doing okay for swell. The winds are a little funky. But there's nothing big. I think there's a south pulse coming up, I think in the next 3 or 4 days. We'll look at that tomorrow. Okay, I'll see you back here.